Well, I'm on my drive home.
This is
that puts me on the
support for NPR comes from Raymond
on the
James,
freeway.
Independent financial planning advice, asset management, and investment banking.
This is Monday afternoon.
Raymond James.
And
from the Kellogg Foundation, helping people
as you can see,
invested in children, their families, and their communities.
At this point, the interstate is fairly clear.
Providing thousands of reports.
I'm able to drive
experiences of the members themselves.
Between 60 and 70.
National Public Radio.
I don't like to be the fastest driver on the road. I generally drive in one of the center lanes.
In the city right now, 43 degrees with sunshine.
I try to drive in one that will, pretty much that I can stay in, without having to change too much. And just as before, part of my afternoon, just like my morning routine, my afternoon routine, I listen to National Public Radio.
PBS station.
Over to the left is our high occupancy lane, and you have to be in a bus or be carpooling or driving a motorcycle to be in that lane, but it will come to an end.
When the White House releases its annual budget, it marks the beginning of months of debate over the president's priorities. And now that Democrats control Congress, they're likely to have more say.
In just a moment, we will start to see the skyline,
the president made clear national security,
south part of Atlanta,
nearly a quarter spending for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Nice sunny day.
Bush is squeezing some domestic programs like Medicare and Medicaid.
Meanwhile, mortar fires injured 2. The Baghdad morgue reported that 66 bodies were recovered.
Listening to All Things Considered from 90.1 WABE. 53 degrees with sunshine in the city. Georgia headlines. This year, Georgia will collect over $160 million as part of the national settlement with tobacco manufacturers, Keller reports.
Despite a 25-cent per pack increase in the tax on cigarettes in 2003, Georgia is seeing a decrease in the amount of money spent to combat tobacco usage. Peter Fisher of the anti-smoking group Tobacco Free Kids says the reduction in the amount spent will certainly slow Georgia's efforts to
has been pushing one that endorses the
right up ahead is right
and also
about where the traffic begins to build a little bit.
Chuck Gregg of New Hampshire,
many people bear off to the left.
Senators to say whether or not they support
that are going southbound,
that's a tough one for
some get on the right. It's the bypass that circles Atlanta,
they also don't want to
I-285,
ruling out
just up ahead.
Purse down the line to force eventual troop withdrawals.
So David,
we might be able to see here where a lot of it just all merges together.
It was NPR's congressional reporter David Waldman.
The debate in the Senate is over the increase in the number of U.S. troops in Iraq. Will the total surge add up to something approaching 150,000, or with backup units even more than that? But whatever the number of troops ends up being, it will not represent the total U.S. presence in Iraq.
From the right,
there's also a population
drivers are coming off of I-285 onto I-20 to head westward.
Scope of their role. In fact, thank you, Robert. How many contractors do we think there are in Iraq?
A lot of times it kind of bottlenecks a little bit up in here, slows down as people merge into different lanes.
150,000 troops, or will be about 150,000 troops. We're already talking about 200.
From here on out, though, people also
hasten to point out necessarily all Americans
start exiting
interested to discover that
as they continue their drive.
Security was being handled by a group of Gurkhas.
Who's the Gurkhas are a famed unit of the British Army.
I normally get off here,
people handling
up to the right, but I've decided I'm going to run an errand today, and so
the fuel trucks are being driven.
I'm going to have to go down a little further.
And a significant amount
just to the left, up ahead,
by armed contractors
is where Six Flags over Georgia
which
is.
have their own aircraft, their own helicopters.
We'll get a little closer in just a second or two.
So when we
B, as we can see now with the president's surge of wanting to send 22,500 more troops in, it becomes a highly sensitive political issue.
I don't know if I can get a good shot of that or not. We'll see. I have to drive.
Nobody's counting. There is no lobby out there that says, whoa, wait a second, what are peace demonstrations, to the degree that we have them, have not yet really focused or
if an IED destroys a truck that's being driven by a contractor in decades past.
And yet, I believe the latest number that I saw was about 775 contractors.
Whether policymakers
moved through the streets, a sniper fired on them. A gunfight broke out with the American troops pursuing the sniper.
In just a few minutes on All Things Considered from 90.1.
And from here on out, usually the traffic will start thinning out.
Sunshine at 4:48.
We're still driving. Oh, not
we'll
too.
Check on your forecast right
around
after
60.
we check in with Jeffrey Charles on this afternoon's traffic.
Sun's glaring this way, the afternoon sun.
Traffic reports brought to you by Welch's Purple Grape Juice. You've got a delay now.
Pretty nice looking day outside. The temperature's a little mild,
I-75, 85,
a little chilly, but actually feels pretty good.
Back up to I-20. You're tapping the brakes headed into Gwinnett. You got it, another crash. I-85
not much going on here.
North Druid Hills Road. Now stalled tracks.
Partly cloudy tonight and tomorrow. Lows tonight in the mid-20s. Tuesday's high in